Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about something that I've been researching at length. It's something that I've been asked a lot by my peers as well as people interested in learning more about what dog food is best. Raw versus kibble versus gently cooked, etc., etc. So today we're going to be looking at the freshest food, which would be raw. In particular, we feed raw. And we're going to be looking at the farmer's dog, which is also fresh, but it's gently cooked, so not as fresh as raw would be. All right, so let's get to it. I want to be really clear up front. I think it's really important that we're not here to tear any particular style or brand down. It really comes down to what works best for your dog, because at the end of the day, we're here to find what is going to keep, what we can do to keep those little paws running down the hallway for as long as possible. Okay, so the reason why I even started comparing different types of food and then different types of brands was because I have 4 dogs, different sizes, different breeds, you name it. 2 of which are purebreds, 2 of which are, and also rescues to be honest, but 2 of which are complete mixes. And so their temperaments are different, it's not just their looks that are different, but also their digestive systems. There are 2 that are very sensitive, and yes, they are the 2 purebreds. Not saying there's any connection whatsoever, but that is what it is. And so the 2 of the brands I've tested are 2 that we're going to look at today. We Feed Raw and the Farmer's Dog. Okay, this comes with a lot of research. I'm talking forums, Reddit. That's a very interesting landscape, but that is one that played a part as well. I have a vet friend as well and went to school with her, and also, drew on her recommendations and her connections as well to interview and chat to. Okay, so let's have a little look at We Feed Raw to start with. Okay, so We Feed Raw, exactly as it sounds. It is raw food made primarily from high quality meats and animal-based ingredients. We're going to look at some of the products here. What I love about them, or something I really like, is that they have protein flexibility. So you can get a whole bunch of different proteins depending on your dog's needs. The best part is you don't even have to know what would be best for their needs, because you can customize and you can let them know. There's a little quiz if you say start your meal plan here. There's a little quiz. I'm not going to go through the whole thing now, but I've done it for 4 of them. You input their name, as you can see. Put their name, your pet's age, the gender, and then you can also go through, and as they take you on, they ask you different questions in terms of the weight, and all sorts of questions like that. And they then recommend different frozen raw recipes. We also have freeze-dried recipes, which is super convenient, and it's something that I use for my dogs when I'm traveling. I take 2 of them out on the road with me quite a lot, and we opt for the beef because one of them is very sensitive to chicken. So I just stick with the beef for both, and it works like a charm. Okay. And very important, it's formulated by PhD nutrition experts. That's not just a marketing term. What that means is that your food is going to be complete. It's going to be balanced. It is fortified with vitamins and minerals and things like zinc, vitamin E, manganese, vitamin D. This is all intentional, because the thing is, the goal isn't to rebuild nutrition after processing. It's to preserve what's already kind of naturally in the food, and then to add any extras that's needed. So with it being raw, nothing is lost in the processing of the food. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is HPP, in other words, high pressure processing. And We Feed Raw uses HPP to ensure food safety with their raw food. Obviously, safety is a large concern for many people. Before I continue, I do just want to say that the argument that raw food is unsafe or, is incredibly worrisome. I think that if we look at food handling in general, we need to incorporate basic food safety, basic food hygiene as per normal, even with cooked food. Fresh food is no different, okay, in terms of hygiene. But one counter to that is, sure, it's raw, what measures are taken? HPP. So what is that? Very basically, it is a type of processing that uses pressure to basically squeeze bacterial cells until they literally cannot survive or reproduce anymore. What's very important is that HPP does not cook the food. This is very important. There's a bunch of studies that have been done to show the safety of high pressure processing, but also that it does not remove nutrients. I think this is a huge position as well, is that there's no nutrient loss. It keeps food safe. High pressure processing, similar to cold pasteurization, I would say, but there is a bunch of science and a bunch of studies done. Not only does it keep it safe, it keeps the nutritional profile completely intact. And so this is what I love. Safe, raw food. Good to note, it is a very high protein, very low carb diet, perfectly balanced. And I know that to some people that might sound like a little bit of an incorrect statement there, or ironic, should I say. But biologically speaking, dogs don't need a high volume of carbohydrates. In fact, it could be potentially detrimental. So raw is very close to what your dogs are biologically accustomed to and biologically should be eating. They make it easy as well. They make it easy in terms of the subscription. You can create your meal plan and they tailor it and you choose the best one that you think will work, and they ship it to your doorstep. It arrives frozen and you just need to thaw it, same as you would with regular cooking or regular food. And then you can thaw your food when it's ready to be fed, give them their food, and you will soon, many people notice that there's visible progress in terms of healthy weight support. That was something I noticed with my dogs. They lost all the extra weight that they were carrying, and especially one of my dogs is a dachshund, so very chubby, which is not great for his back. And so I'm very pleased with that. And clean ingredients, all natural, and a taste that your dogs seem to love because there's nothing extra in there to kind of put them off. And that is my experience of We Feed Raw. But let's move on to Farmer's Dog for now. Another great brand, in my opinion. They use a gently cooked approach, and they also consult with vet professionals, which I loved. And you also have options like chicken, turkey, beef, but they include vegetable. Oh, you see, this is all the dogs that I had popped into here. I have Oreo, Roxy, Pablo, Molly, 4 dogs. I found these a little clunkier to use because I had to do it. I don't know how to explain it other than I did it after the We Feed Raw quiz, and it just seemed a little bit clunkier. That's the only way I can put it. I still loved it. I still love that you can, let them know more about your dog and they can tailor it. I'm not a fan of the the grain that they include, but that's just because Oreo, especially, he doesn't do well on grains, and he doesn't do well on chicken either. So the options were a little bit limited there, and I want to avoid pork completely, and I was quite surprised that they suggested pork as part of my dog, who I had said that was a bit overweight. But that's fine. I mean, it's something that you can select your own plan, for example. So you have chicken and grain, pork and grain, or turkey, beef, chicken. But now I know that he doesn't do well with spinach, and he doesn't do well with chicken. And so the other one would be beef. And it's definitely, this would be probably the plan that I would go for. For him would be beef. Lentils I'm a little bit unsure about, but that's something that we could definitely see if that helps. I haven't tried that one in particular, but we can go back here to the homepage, not for Oreo anyway, but for my GSD I did try, and for my little Jack Russell, and they did do very well on Farmer's Dog, and we're quite happy. The other thing I liked about them was that they are vet developed, and so they're also finished with vitamin and mineral premixed, which meets AAFCO standards. Basically what that means is that it is a complete and balanced meal for your dogs. Okay. One thing to note, the food is cooked. Yes, it's gently cooked, but it does change the nutritional profile, and it's quite well known. It's quite obvious. It's not something I necessarily have to point out, but any type of cooking does change a nutritional profile. Heat reduces naturally occurring enzymes, amino acids, and even some vitamins. Okay. Even though it's just gently cooked though, so it's better than completely annihilating the food. We have C here. It's not ultra processed, so that's good. Gently cooked, it's fully cooked, it's not raw. And it's made at a USDA inspected facility, rigorous testing, and there's no cross-contamination. I mean, this is all things that they use to say that it is human grade. Okay. I think the one thing to note here is that with gently cooked food, this is why they have to have added vitamins and premixes. It's because it is gently cooked. Some vitamins are naturally lost in the cooking process. Okay. So one thing that I do like about them is that they consult a lot of vets, and they do offer, great food. They have many happy reviews. My GSD absolutely loved the Farmer's Dog. But if I were to say, my personal philosophy is that I do lean more towards a nutrient first approach whenever possible. A little story is that, before I understood the great debate versus raw versus cooked, was that my grandmother had a tiny miniature dachshund that lived till I think it was 21 years old, and he lived primarily on a raw diet. And I think growing up we all thought she was a little bit nuts, but she paid a pretty penny for the food. But the thing is, she had the healthiest dachshund. He lived the longest life, and in the end he passed from old age, not from any particular disease or anything like that. And it left a very poignant impression on me. So I want as much time as possible with my dogs, and a feeding in a way that preserves natural nutrients gives me that small edge, or helps me to give them that small edge for longevity. I'm willing to do that. That said, some dogs do better on gently cooked food. I think the thing is, you got to find out what works for your dog. you got to be present. You got to, instead of just being caught up in the marketing or caught up in what the discussions online say, you've got to understand what it is your dog needs. And oftentimes we do that by understanding biologically what they need. And in my opinion, it is as least amount of processing as possible and as least amount of carbohydrates and grains. That is just what's worked very well for my dogs. So thank you very much. Good luck. And let me know in the comments what works well for your dog. If you've made the switch to either gently cooked or raw, and I look forward to hearing your feedback.